Coming up, the diverse talents of Cherokee musicians, from rapper Lightfoot to the Girty Family Gospel Singers, plus singer-songwriter Kalyn Fay, and the incredible career of Cherokee opera star Barbara McAlister.
The Cherokees.
A thriving American Indian tribe.
Our history.
Our culture.
Our people.
Our future.
The principles of a historic nation.
Sewn into the fabric of a modern world.
Hundreds of thousands strong.
Learning. Growing.
Succeeding.
And steadfast.
In the past, we have persevered through struggle.
But the future is ours to write.
Osiyo.
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 These are the voices of the Cherokee people.
Osiyo. I'm Principal Chief Bill John Baker. Welcome to the Cherokee Nation and OsiyoTV. This is how we share our culture, our heritage, our history, and our language with you. Wado.
Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. I'm your host, Jennifer Lauren, at the Cherokee Heritage Center in Park Hill, Oklahoma. Today we're listening to Cherokee musicians, from gospel to rap, from folk to opera. Here in the Cherokee Nation, there's a place not known to all, but for those who have been there, it can be a spiritual sight. It's a hill in Sequoyah County known as Girty Hill, where the Girty family meets and they sing.
My mama could sing, but she didn't. My dad did. So he was the one that introduced me to the Cherokee songs. All the Cherokees that lived in that area would gather at the cemetery, and they would sing those songs, Cherokee songs. All my other sisters could sing too, just like my daughters do. They learned the same way, just by hearing. There were churches here and there that still sing Cherokee songs. We would visit, and my daughters were willing to sing with their dad, and we'd all go up there and we sing.
Singers include Susan, myself, Brenda, Linda, Elizabeth, Joan, and our mother Wanda, and of course Becky and Janelle, and we are the Girty Family Singers. We grew up with our grandparents being right here on our dad's side, so Grandma and Duda's house was right there. My grandma and Duda were stomp dance people at the very beginning. They went to stomp grounds. They went to the ceremonial grounds. And Duda was a leader. He would sing. And that's where I think a lot of the singing that Duda sang came from that. So whenever they started going to church, that's when Duda used to would lead songs.
And he had the spirit. He had, he would sing them songs, and it would just be, he could fill that whole church building with his voice.
Whoever we are comes from them teaching us how to be, teaching us how to sing, and teaching us how to be Cherokee.
Hey, Miles. They call this Girty Hill because There's so many of us that live here. My grandpa's sister lives here. My grandpa actually lives up the hill here, and then his brother lives on the other side of the hill. And my grandpa's dad used to live up here on the hill. His house is gone now. And so I would come down here and spend all summer with my grandparents. So I was down here with my cousins, and we'd be running around in the woods.
Do that snowball now.
All right. And just like they're doing now, this is what we would do. These songs that we pass down from each generation, and the things that we do, and the things that we show them, you know, it's just like being a part of this big chain, and each one of us is a link, and we're just passing this down, and hopefully each link is just as strong as the one before it. And maybe one of these days I'm hoping that my own grandchildren will come out here and play, you know, and my son maybe will sing the songs like we were singing inside, and they'll ask him, you know, they'll say, how do you know these songs, Edod? You know, who taught them to you? And he'll tell them, your grandma taught them to me.
I do feel that family life is very important, and I try to keep it that way. And I do truly believe that it's the singing, our belief, that keeps us together. Yes, I'll keep on singing, because that is a God-given talent. The spiritual Cherokee songs, they might not want me to sing with them, but I'm going to be singing.
Kalin Fay Barnosky is an artist working with all different types of art. She's an accomplished singer-songwriter and a graphic designer with a love for screen printing. But no matter what art form she's working with, Kalin's Cherokee heritage plays a vital role in the message she's sending.
Don't remember much about that house on Broadway, that little town in the southeast. Trees all swayed around as if they had a secret. Wish they would have told me.
I'm Kalyn Fay Barnosky. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Actually originally from Okemah, Oklahoma. I'm in school and getting both of my masters so I can be a professor. I know what I love to do, and I'm really passionate about what I want to do, and so I want to give that to somebody else as well. I got into art when I was like a really tiny child. I loved art and I loved music. I still feel like art is a way anyone can help someone. Mine isn't so much about just being Native as it is like trying to interact with other people who are dealing with being Native and being white and trying to fit in. It's different in Oklahoma than it is anywhere else because there's 38 plus affiliated tribes in Oklahoma, so most people you run into are going to be a little bit Native. My dad is full-blood Cherokee. All of my thesis work I'm working on right now is my Christian background versus like Native spiritualism and how my dad grew up and how he still carries a lot of those ideas and views but tries to mix them with Christianity. My family's really tight-knit. My grandma always brought us all together. She taught and spoke in Cherokee. I definitely feel like there's a connection with my grandma when I do my art. Even though she's not here, she's always been very supportive of me doing art. She's who inspired me to do the work that I'm doing. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for her.
I was told I was too young to understand much about the town and how life moves. But I remember climbing up those overcome trees, taking in the beauty of the view. And I still call town my home, though I've left and I still roam. Can't explain just how I felt living in the Bible Belt, living in the Bible Belt.
I didn't start playing music till I moved towards the Tulsa area. My sound is mostly folk. I do singer-songwriter stuff. I have a new album. It's called Bible Belt. All the music I write now is like stories about people I've met or people in my life or myself. A lot of it has to do with living in Oklahoma or in the Bible Belt. I've been playing some of these songs for a few years now, and I just want to have a physical thing to give to people. I'm a part of two separate communities. I'm part of like the design art community, and then I'm part of the music community. I do all facets of design. I do poster design, I've done web design, I do any sort of print design. I like working with silkscreen the most. I made one that's kind of comical, that has a native on it, and it says, "I'm part white, but I can't prove it." One of the pieces I worked on was two separate silk screens that I sewed together, and one was of like a traditional like 50s family at a table, and the other was a group of like Native men just out in the prairie. And I got some like syllabary on it too, which translates to Yosei Agei, which means I wish I had that. It's just like a conversation about how one wishes they had the other. Like my white side wishes they had like the culture and history that my native side has. My native side almost wishes they had like this traditional like white family stability. For me, Cherokee means like community. It's not even just that, it's like retaining a heritage and pushing it further and not making it better, but always being appreciative of your history, continuing on with that. Not letting it die, but also not scared to keep progressing.
Grace and rain and sins and dust caused our bodies all to rust till we left with our bare feet. And I still call our town my home, though I've left and I still roam. Can't explain just how I felt living in the Bible Belt. Can't explain just how I felt living in the Bible Belt.
Jalagi Iniwone here. Let's talk Cherokee.
The Cherokee syllabary is the writing system invented by Sequoyah. Each character represents a syllable in the Cherokee language. In this syllabary chart, the top row contains the 6 vowel sounds. The subsequent rows include the consonant sounds.
D.
D.
Phone. Ditlino heti.
Ditlino heti.
T.
T.
Mole. Tinekwa.
Tinekwa.
Do.
Do.
Beaver. Doye.
Doye.
Do.
Do.
Beans. Tuya.
Tuya.
Da.
Da.
Go. Dagesi.
Dagesi.
I ain't going back home. Didanela I.
Didanela I.
Dagesi.
Dagesi.
Many people know him as the Indian in the cupboard, but Gary Lightfoot Davis has come a long way since those days. We caught up with him at his home in Seattle, Washington, and again here in Cherokee country, where his dreams began.
This is where my grandparents lived. Probably a lot of my most fond memories of growing up in Oklahoma were right there over on that patio. It's crazy because it doesn't look, like a whole lot now, but when I was a kid, this was like kind of everything. It's a little different going back today because everything has changed and people have passed on, and to have my sons be back out here, sort of kind of come full circle. My name is Gary Davis, also known as Lightfoot. So I started rapping in Oklahoma. I mean, people are like, well, Indians don't rap, you can't do that. I've come out of the gate almost in that space with people saying you can't do that, just in general in society. Indian people are this, and I rebel against that to the fullest. Long story short, it fuels my fire. I would, in Tulsa, be sitting there, and because I didn't have money to get instrumentals, I would turn on the classical station, and I would write stories and ideas to this music because it didn't have any vocals. And that may be a very unique way to come up as a rapper, right? Again, it goes back to, hey, you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way. Till the fade black out, my war paint stay out. As a rap artist, I have 11 albums with another album coming. I have several different awards for that music, including Best Male Artist and Artist of the Year. I have toured throughout the United States and as far away as Rome, Italy. As an actor, my first role was Little Bear in the film The Indian in the Cupboard, directed by Frank Oz. One day, maybe who knows, if I ever were able to do something that would get me to get an award, they go, oh, look, there goes the Indian in the Cupboard getting an award. It's just one of those films that I don't think I'll ever not be that guy. And then I went on to do other films such as Mortal Kombat, Annihilation. I played Nightwolf. I played Hiawatha in the Song of Hiawatha. Most recently have added House of Cards to my filmography. I am an entrepreneur. I am an author, guy that just looks for something to do to be a little bit visionary. Definitely trying to move the envelope forward for Indian country. I actually started a record label called Red Vinyl Records. There is Davis Strategy Group, which will help other folks with marketing, branding. Lightfoot Enterprises, which we both own and operate, and Native Style Clothing. I think that business and being entrepreneurs is probably one of the most traditional things that Native people have ever done. For me, being an entrepreneur is a very traditional activity. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next few days, make it your focus right now to leave here with a bigger network than what you came here with. So for the last 5 years, I have dedicated 120% of my time pretty much to the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development as its president and CEO. I'm actually in the process of wrapping up my time. Just what we've been able to accomplish in the reservation economic summits and advancing millions of dollars worth of opportunity, and literally in some cases probably would amount to billions of dollars worth of opportunities for tribes and tribal enterprises. I think that is something that we have to do more of. We have to continue to find the ways as Indian country to work together. And it's been an honor to be in that position to help guide that and push it forward. When I get back to Oklahoma now, my sister still lives there, and I'll go out and see the family. I'll go visit my grandparents in Claremore at the cemetery. As this new era of my life starts to come, forward and unfold, that's one of the things that I think is probably one of the biggest blessings of all, is being able to spend time with your family and, grow something with your family and do good. I think that's really what could be more exciting than that. Me being Cherokee and representing that now across Indian country and around the world, it's been one of the things that is at the core of everything that I do. Has it been easy? No, absolutely not. But has it been worth it? Absolutely. Seeing my father, my grandfather, and everybody working together, I saw everybody contributing. Nobody questioned it. Nobody said, oh, it's too late or I'm too tired. They just got in and made it happen. I really think that was a big part of my growing up, is seeing people contribute to make something bigger than themselves happen and not let situations get you down. So absolutely, I stand on his shoulders. I stand on my father's shoulders.
And you're passing that on to your boys?
Yeah. I work so hard now to try to even do more than what they showed me so that they won't forget. Hopefully what they get out of it is that no matter what happens, no matter what you do in life, if you know who you are and you know your strengths and you keep pushing and you keep working and that you work harder than everybody else and that you really don't forget who you are, you're gonna come out on top.
Her title is dramatic mezzo-soprano, and she's the only Cherokee opera singer to have a performance career in both the U.S. and across Europe. But Barbara McAlister couldn't deny the call to come home to her roots in the Cherokee Nation.
Osiyo.
How you doing?
Hi, Cherokee. Boy,
Osiyo, Barbara.
Osiyo. My name is Barbara McAlister. I am an opera singer, and I'm a fine arts instructor, performer for the Cherokee Nation, and also on the Oklahoma State Arts Council as a touring artist. I was born and raised in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I wanted to sing, and I loved classical music, but I think I had heard it since I was born. I was told when I was young I was too shy, too nervous, that I would never have a chance to be a singer. And there was nothing that could stop me from pursuing singing. I wanted to sing, and I wanted to pursue the art of singing. I didn't know you had to be on a stage. I would have been very comfortable being a radio performer. I studied music and already began doing summer stock theater, even though I was scared to be on stage. And I went to audition for the Dallas Summer Musicals. And I remember walking onto the stage and I announced my name, and then they said, "What are you singing?" I was so terrified I didn't remember what I was singing. So I had to ask the pianist, "What am I singing?" And then as I exited after singing, I tripped, of course, and I guess Sagittarius at work, and I got hired. I think probably because I stood out. Once I started acting, and then once you're in character, you become somebody else. And it makes it so much easier. It's the hardest singing anyone can possibly do. The operatic voice has to project over an orchestra, over a chorus, and that voice has to sail across all of that. That's the amazing thing about opera. Because you're engaged by the theater, you have time sometimes to travel. I would go to Italy, and then I would go to La Scala and work with Reinaldo Zamboni. Hong Kong has a lovely performing arts center. I would say Carnegie Hall would be one of the greatest because of the acoustics. I studied with the best, to me, the best there are in the world. And I'm able to give that now to the students I work with, and that's such a joy to me. And it's amazing, really, that the Cherokee Nation is behind me in doing this. When you get the top note, think of a crescendo, okay? Good breath. When I first came back from New York City, I knew that I wanted to come back to my Heimatland, as the Germans say, my homeland. And I said, I can teach because that's what I've done my whole life. And that's how I got started teaching. It's fascinating to work with these young, brilliant people.
The connection of Barbara as a Cherokee citizen and as a teacher within the Cherokee Nation has directly helped Tulsa Opera, because suddenly we have this resource of singers who honestly we didn't know were there. And so it's really awesome to know that that talent is here, and now we can start showcasing it. This is actually the first year that we have, to our knowledge, had Cherokee citizens in Tulsa Youth Opera, and that is directly because of Barbara. What you notice with Barbara's students is that the students have a real sense of empathy toward the music that they're singing, and that they really understand the music that they're singing. And that's something that a lot of teachers just don't teach, and that's something that Barbara really excels at.
We don't know the words, so you're teaching the audience the words, right? So they have to hear every word that you're saying.
Barbara teaches that when you sing, you're also telling a story. It's just another way to speak a different story.
My older students, I always say, never accept it when somebody says you can't do something. You have a dream, you have what's in your heart, and you have to follow that dream. I don't have one student who isn't brilliant. So I'm very blessed. They teach me things, as we go along.
We hope you enjoyed our show. And remember, you can always watch entire episodes and share your favorite stories online at Osio.tv. There is no Cherokee word for goodbye because we know we'll see you again. We say, Dodadago ha'i. Wado.
In the Cherokee Nation, news happens every day.
Cherokee Nation's economic impact on the state of Oklahoma now exceeds $2 billion.
The dollars that are generated here are creating jobs.
It benefits everyone. Creating headlines.
The new 469,000 square foot health facility is the result of the largest joint venture agreement ever.
For the people of the Cherokee Nation, and will impact them for generations to come.
Creating opportunities.
Cherokee Nation employees can now take 8 weeks of paid maternity leave.
We have lots of young mothers and young families, and this is something that's very exciting.
This year, the tribe awarded $5 million to superintendents from about 100 public school districts.
When it comes to education, we're all in it together.
Creating a better place to call home.
The Wilma P. Mankiller Health Center in Stillwell, Oklahoma, nearly doubled in size.
That's going to provide more jobs.
For more Cherokee Nation news, visit onadiskoe.com.